Let's focus on Syria now, which once produced enough wheat to feed its entire population, but now the country has been hit by a historic drought. Crop failures are mounting. The situation is so bad that wheat farmers are mulling to leave the profession altogether.
Aid groups and engineers have warned of a looming humanitarian disaster in northeast Syria.
The Euphrates, one of the most ancient rivers in the world, appears in many significant periods of human history. The Euphrates River, however, could be doing better. The terrifying events causing this ancient river to dry up and send millions of people into unprecedented drought are not unexpected. However, as strange and ancient discoveries have been made beneath the dried riverbed, it has been predicted that a terrifying prophecy appears to be coming true. Since these revelations, the Euphrates River has finally dried up, and something scary is happening. The world has been in shock. The Euphrates River. The Euphrates River is the longest river in Western Asia. The Euphrates River rises in Turkey and runs through Syria and Iraq. Before flowing into the Persian Gulf, the river merges with the Tigris. The river is about 1,700 miles long, and the basin's average size is 190,000 square miles. The Euphrates rises from the Karasu and Murad rivers in Turkey for 971 kilometers. Nearby is Turkey's largest dam, the Kaban Dam. In recent years, the following dams have been built in the Euphrates. The Turkish dams in the Euphrates are the Keban Dam, the Karkamis Dam, the Birisik Dam, the Ataturk Dam, and the Karakaya Dam. In Syria are the Tishrin Dam, the Tabqa Dam, and the Bath Dam, and in Iraq are the Hindiya Barrage and the Ramadi Barrage. The Euphrates River joins in Iraq the Tigris River and flows into the Persian Gulf in Basra. Importance of the Euphrates. Human activity has long centered on the Euphrates River. Seasonal flooding is reduced by Babylon's steep embankments. Babylon was irrigated by waterways linking the Euphrates River to Iraq's Tigris. The Tigris ran north of Metropolis. Nearby was Hammurabi's Code. Mesopotamia united and built massive walls and temples between the rivers in 597 BC. The 137th Psalm was inspired by Babylon's most powerful king, Nebuchadnezzar II. He enslaved Jews and took Jerusalem. The Hanging Gardens, one of the seven wonders, were built by him. Babylon is stunning. Despite its current state, Herodotus claimed this river section was Babylon's water management model. As they marched toward Babylon, Cyrus the Great's army reached the canals dug between the Tigris and the Euphrates to channel the latter's waters, which would flood the region when the Armenian mountains snow melted. Canals crossed the valley and paralleled the Tigris and Euphrates. Canals watered crops in the well-watered country. River warriors spread Islam across the Middle East in AD 656 when Muhammad's son-in-law, Ibn Ali Talib, moved the caliphate from Medina to Kuf, south of Babylon on the Euphrates. Kufa was surrounded by rice, date palm, wheat, and other crops. For millennia, the Euphrates has shaped Iraqi cities. Fallujah. Due to its riverside location, Persians and Romans invaded Fallujah in the 3rd century AD. In Fallujah, Arabian camel caravans drank. Iraq's dictator sons Uday and Qusay Hussein built villas near the Euphrates and created an artificial lake with river water. In 1995, Saddam Hussein's Fallujah palace was demolished. Visible Euphrates. The river is in danger, experts say. According to a water ministry report, Iraq's Euphrates and Tigris rivers will dry up in 20 years unless something is done. These two rivers supply 98% of Iraq's surface water. Unfortunately, in 24 to 40 years, Iraq may be riverless. What is the problem with the Euphrates River causing it to dry up? Conflict, pollution, and climate change are significant causes. Dam Berkeley Earth, a California-based climate science nonprofit, says construction in neighboring countries has caused a water crisis that threatens millions of people. Iraq has nearly twice the global annual temperature increase. Since the late 1800s, the average global temperature has increased by 1.3 degrees Celsius. Still, Iraq has risen by a startling 2.5 degrees Celsius. The human-caused Euphrates issues begin over 1,000 miles away. For generations, the Turkish government has built dams upstream near the river's catchment area in eastern Turkey below the Taurus Mountains to generate electricity and provide cabin land. The Upper Euphrates Dam was completed in 1974 and the Ataturk Dam in 1990. The $32 billion Southeastern Anatolia project will build 22 dams and 19 hydroelectric plants on the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, supplying 25% of Turkey's electricity. Syria built several more dams on the Euphrates, its tributaries, and the Tapka Dam upstream from Raqqa before the civil war. In the 1970s, Turkish and Syrian dams cut Iraq's water flow by 2/3. Iraq fought its neighbors over water. The conflict escalated into violence in the early 1970s when Turkey and Syria diverted the Euphrates River into reservoirs, almost testing the river downstream in Iraq. The Iraqi government built canals northwest of Baghdad to connect the Euphrates River to Lake Tharthar Reservoir. The Iraqi ministry says the Euphrates River will only partially fill by 2035. Independently, a NASA German government satellite study found that the Tigris-Euphrates base loses groundwater faster than anywhere except India, leaving Iraq short of 80% of its 53 million cubic liters per year. The World Resources Institute, a US-based nonprofit environmental organization, predicts that Iraq will have extreme water stress by 2040. Effects of the drying up of the Euphrates. The impact of the Euphrates River's drying up is already being felt by the people of Iraq. Aid agencies claim that the current water situation in Iraq, a crisis, is already posing a threat to the lives of at least 7 million people and restricting their access to food and electricity. Up to 70% less wheat could be produced in northern Iraq. To improve the situation, the irrigation system would require a significant overhaul that could cost between $50 and $70 billion, which the struggling country does not have. This means that starvation is imminent. In addition, as dams dwindle, the electricity supply is negatively impacted, disrupting the operation of hospitals and other crucial infrastructure. Unintentionally, the Euphrates River's waters have caused archaeological discoveries at many of these formerly submerged sites to the surface as the riverbeds dry up. According to scientists, 6 distinct historical eras, including Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian, Greek, Byzantine, and Islamic, have been identified in the Euphrates riverbed. Revelation of monuments, artifacts, and submerged cemeteries. Syria built the Euphrates Dam in 1968 without rerouting the Euphrates River and creating lakes in the desert. The result was that the lake created by the dam, which was 100 kilometers long and 8 kilometers wide, submerged the most significant historical sites along the river. A small number of monuments and artifacts were preserved. In addition to hundreds of Syriac Christian monasteries, this area is home to numerous cemeteries. The submerged cemeteries can be clearly seen when the sun shines and the lake water is clear. A few cemeteries have been found on the right bank of the lake, in the western part of Raqqa. Still, the left bank has been explored to the same extent and is more difficult to dig in due to its rockier terrain. River Euphrates waters in Anna the Haditha Dam's lower water level allowed the discovery of at least 80 historical sites. Iraq revealed that the ancient city of Talps was actually Muhammad Yassim. Discovery of a 3,400-year-old Mitanni Empire. A 3,400-year-old Mitanni Empire city that emerged when the waters of the Tigris River basin receded was discovered, according to the Department of Antiquities in Dohak, in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. The city, formerly known as Zakiko, was mentioned in texts written in ancient Babylonia. It has a palace and several other buildings, and a large fence and cuneiform readers that were discovered. Many of the wolves, which were made of sun-dried mud and had been submerged for more than 40 years, had been preserved exceptionally well, which astounded the researchers. The earthquake that destroyed the city is most likely to blame for this. The upper portions of the walls were reduced to rubble, burying and defending the city for centuries. Astonishingly well preserved were 5 ceramic vessels containing more than 100 cuneiform tablets, some still in their clay envelopes. According to Peter Fessner, an archaeology professor at the University of Tübingen, the underwater survival of unfired clay tablets is close to a miracle. The site may be the ancient site of Zakiku, which served as a significant center in the Mitanni Empire from roughly 1500 to 1350 BCE. The team hopes that the tablets, some of which may be letters, will shed more light on the city and its ancient inhabitants. The empire was one of several kingdoms and states established by the Indo-Iranians in Mesopotamia and Syria, stretching over 600 miles from the Zagros Mountains to the Mediterranean Sea. In the early years of the empire, the Mitannis battled Egypt for control of Syria until a truce was negotiated with the Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose IV around 1420 BCE. The Mitannis were defeated by the Hittite Empire around 1360 BCE, and the Assyrians quickly seized control of the area. Significance of religion. Islam and Christianity, two of the world's largest religions, follow this river's prophecies closely. Many Muslims recall the hadiths about the drying up of the Euphrates, including that soon the river will reveal the treasure in the mountain of gold, so those present should not take anything from him. According to Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet Muhammad, the hour will not come before the Euphrates River dries up to reveal the mountain of gulp, for which people will fight. Of every 100 who fight, 99 will die in the fighting. Every man among them will say, "Perhaps I'm the only one to remain alive." According to Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, the Prophet Muhammad stated that the Euphrates reveals the treasure within itself. It will disclose a gold mountain to anyone who sees it. Islamic scholars say many of Prophet Muhammad's 1400-year-old prophecies, especially those about Judgment Day, have come true. A prophecy about crossing the Euphrates River and gold mining has yet to come true. This is a crucial prophecy because the Mahdi's arrival is linked to war. The discovery of significant gold reserves in the dried riverbeds could spark renewed civil strife between the tribes and outside powers. The Prophet warned Muslims not to pursue God, but many closely watched the Euphrates' fate. According to scholars, these Euphrates River prophecies have been interpreted differently. They may indicate a time when the Euphrates wars are worth gold. The Euphrates Dam's revenues could be compared to gold. After the Euphrates water is drained, large gold and petroleum deposits may be found underground. Land subsidence may reveal such a valuable element. Christians anticipate Euphrates River chaos. Since Jesus Christ said only God knows the hour or day of the second coming, his followers have been predicting when it will happen. Now it appears the river Euphrates is the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Many believe the book of Revelation's key passages demonstrates the Euphrates' end-time significance. The sixth angel dried up the Euphrates for the kings from the east after God's wrath on Babylon. The Euphrates reappears as the king's armies cross it to Hammageddo or Armageddon in northern Israel. Wreckers, neighbors hit by retaliatory missiles of mass destruction, and Americans targeted by terrorists with portable nuclear weapons will suffer high casualties. China will invade Taiwan, and India will invade Kashmir, starting World War III. Revelation says a nuclear holocaust could kill 2 billion people, 1/3 of humanity. Another Bible scholar said Turkey's Euphrates River can cause end-of-the-world events. According to Revelation, the Euphrates River will dry up, allowing the kings of the east to march their armies to Jerusalem for the final battle or Armageddon. The Antichrist armies can attack the Holy Land from the north by turning off the Ataturk Dam, which dries up the river downstream. Turkey dammed the Euphrates in 1990 to fill a Turk Dam reservoir. The scholar suggests that the technology to stop the Euphrates River could add to the book of Revelation's terrifying fulfillment in our lifetime. Do you have any theory about this place? Do share in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell for future updates on more exciting mysteries. We'll see you next time.